Hi, I'm Thomas Fontes with Accounting Services Unlimited, ASU, for the first podcast called Keeping Businesses in Business. Next to me is the lovely and talented Miss Andrea Sanji.
How are you?
Well, just happy to be here.
Yeah, same.
All right, so I guess we've got a few questions that we're going to talk about. What Accounting Services Unlimited does, some of the things that we do for our clients, some examples of what we've done in the past of how we've helped. And last but not least, we're going to talk about some of the war stories and the people that we've worked with. So I'll let Andrea start.
All right. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Especially ugly.
Right. So, Thomas, what does Accounting Services Unlimited do for small businesses?
All right. So ASU does bookkeeping, sales taxes. ASU payroll does payroll for small businesses. And then we do the cherry on top, which is the actual tax return for LLCs that go on a personal tax return, partnerships, 1120S's or S Corps, and then of course C Corps and partnerships. We do a tremendous amount of S Corps though, because we try to save people a lot of money by using S Corps. And you want to know how we do that? We're very aggressive in two ways. Number one is we're aggressive in getting the information. We don't sit around and wait for people to send us information, bank statements, credit card statements, all that jazz. Yeah. We try to get online banking and get it ourselves to cut the client out of the loop until we need them. And the second thing that we're very aggressive on is looking for expenses to help whittle down that tax liability as much as we can. If we see somebody that's showing a high profit, we're going to dig deep and go into, sometimes we go in through their partners or their wife or their husband's credit cards to find business expenses that they forget that they use that credit card for, or that they use their husband or wife's checking account for. So we're very aggressive. And like I said, then we handle the sales taxes for our retail clients, both parish, state, county sales taxes. If you're in Mississippi or anywhere that's not Louisiana, where there's counties. So we track those, and we actually have a guarantee on it. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Tell me about it.
So if we make a mistake on your sales taxes, we pay the penalties and interest. Wow. And we actually put that in writing in our initial setup with our agreement that we do. So so there is quite the guarantee.
Yeah, and as a small business owner, that sounds very appealing to somebody like me with an LLC or an S Corp, because I'm not exactly a tax expert. So it's always good to give this work to somebody that is going to find those, aggressive savings.
It's always important to stay in your lane. I tell dentists and doctors and lawyers all the time, I will try not to represent anybody in court. I will not try to diagnose anybody an illness. Right. Don't try to do the books. Right. Don't try to do the books.
Don't try to do the books, guys.
Right. Yeah. Why?
So tell us how you got into ASU. Tell us your story.
My dad had a bookkeeping service. He had it for 25 years. He told me, come into the business. All this can be yours. He had 1.5 employees and made less than $60,000 a year. So he hired me. I worked for him for about 6 months. Then he fired me because I brought in too much business for him. And after that, he told me that after a couple of months, when I failed, that he would hire me back part-time and I could get a job at Home Depot full-time. And that's how my future looked like. And fortunately, I bought him out in 2012 and I retired him. And and he finagled a Corvette out of me for doing that. So that's my backstory.
What color?
He got a white one, and it was too old, and then I had to pay for the repairs. But let's move on. And thank you for bringing up such a painful subject.
I love it. So I heard you had a really huge success story with a local grocery store.
Okay, it was a small family grocery store. And to say it was, these people, poor people, had a terrible person that they were working with. And by the time we got to them, they needed a tax attorney, they needed our CPA, and they needed our accounting team to put together 3 years of back work to get them caught up.
Ooh.
But when we had the first meeting with what we thought was going to be an IRS agent, they brought the DEA and the Secret Service into the meeting with us, which for our humble little bookkeeping service was impressive.
gosh.
I had not seen guns and badges in my conference room before, but it turned out to be a whole lot of nothing. Their accountant or CPA, well, actually the guy lied and said he was a CPA. He's not.
Oh.
So when he was in the room, when he told the owners of this little grocery store that he was not a CPA, they asked for a break in front of the agents. They went into the hallway, they fired him, and then came back into the conference room. And anyway, but supposedly they owed over $1.2 million in taxes because of the poor work that this fake CPA did. And we ended up with them owing less than $100,000, and we got them a payment plan over 6 years. So
Wow.
let's just say I still get Christmas cards from them on
I'm
the reg.
Sure. Yeah,
on the
I'm
reg.
sure.
So yeah, no, that was a lot of work, but they didn't deserve it, and it was just poorly done. It looked like they were laundering money.
Right.
They were not laundering money.
They were not.
They were not laundering money.
But they didn't have the right
They didn't
expert.
have the right people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They were sending money as part of, when people send money, especially workers after Katrina, were sending a tremendous amount of money home to their home countries, and it looked like they were, because it was poorly done.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next thing, because that was a big win, though. Those people, like I said, still get regular Christmas cards.
Can you tell me some examples of different industries that you serve?
All right, so we're kind of all over. We can work with a lot of different people, but some of my favorites are restaurants, because restaurant owners are busy all the time. Some of your favorite restaurants we work with already, and we've worked with them for a long time. Some of them we even pay their bills, because that's how caught up they are in the day-to-day operations, and it's a big benefit to them. Law firms a lot of times have people in-house that are trying to do this at the same time that they're trying to work out their own billing. It doesn't work. Physicians are the same way. Most of the time, if they have an office manager that is trying to do the books and do the billing and coding billing and all the fun stuff, most of the time when we come in, I get hugs from the office managers.
Aww.
Because they're just happy to get, I'm a lovable guy just by nature. And so, we get, those kind of things where we make an impact.
Right.
And then, of course, the smaller, when somebody does work, whether it's an engineer or an architect for another firm, and they go out on their own, it's a good idea to talk to us the minute you decide to go out on your own. Because usually we're good at setting people up in almost any industry, unless it's all cash business. In which case, if it's all cash business, don't call me. Lose my number.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. All right. True or false? Do you work with tax attorneys and other CPAs?
Only the ones we like. We work with a lot of other CPA firms that send us business clients to do their books, and at the end of the year, send them their tax returns. Tax attorneys like us because we respond quick. We have a good sized staff. So when they need something, sorry, Mike. I meant Mike. The tax attorneys like it because we respond quick. We're staffed up, so we're able to get a lot of these projects done in a timely fashion, and we respond to emails, and we respond to phone calls and all that kind of stuff. So we're real popular in the industry.
What are some of the issues that you find, like the most common issues?
The most common issues that we run into are people that fall behind with payroll taxes and sales taxes and then income taxes. It's almost like a snowball. We get clients that will come to us and will be ashamed.
Oh.
They'll be ashamed. They'll come in and say, I need a little help. And then before you know it, after 10 minutes of talking, I have to break out the box of Kleenex.
Yeah.
And they start telling me I haven't done my taxes in 4 years. My payroll forms, the 941s that are filed quarterly, aren't done. and I'm getting regular visits from the local sheriff's department because sales taxes aren't being paid on time.
I have seen that happen. Just FYI, when I've been in a small business and I've seen that exact thing go down, and I'm like, what is going on?
I wish those guys could carry a pack of my business cards just to hand them to everybody to go visit, because we get people out of those binds. We do it with two things. It's always two things. One is we communicate directly with the agents for the parish or the state, and we also do the work relatively quickly in order to get them compliant. And the words payment plan is something we use all the time to help people get through the little rut that they're in, and then we keep up with it moving forward. And a lot of times when we're able to help the client do this, well, all of a sudden they have time to, work on their business. Get more clients. If it's a restaurant, butts and seats. I can say butts and seats, right, Michael? All right, butts and seats it is.
Yeah.
Just to get butts and seats, which makes us a lot more valuable that way. And then also you can see it when they use other people, other firms that don't keep up with them, that don't call them back, don't respond to emails. I've had people when I've done cold calls where I'll go to the same place twice in 1 month, just because I'm in the neighborhood, and they'll tell me, I've talked to you more than I've talked to my CPA in the last 3 years, in the 2 times that you've come by to say hello. So if you're not getting there's no communication, then what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like if you're looking for a short-term relationship, ASU is not for you. If you are looking for a long, consistent relationship with a company that's truly looking out for you, ASU seems like a good partnership. Am I wrong?
No, we're growth focused. If you want to stay in the same place, don't call us. Don't call us. We don't want to know. We want people that want to grow. We want people that want to take over the world. And if you're thinking, no, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at, maybe we're not the right fit.
Right. Agreed. What is your process for businesses that are behind with their payroll taxes and their income taxes?
Good question. All right. First, we get them to sign a limited power of attorney. That means I can't move their money to my accounts in Grand Cayman or anything like that. That means that we go directly to the IRS and we find out what the IRS has on them. It's almost like poker, and we're making them show their hand before we show our hand. Then the next thing is, once we find out from the IRS what they have, what 1099s, what W-2s, or any other kind of income that they've received, then we go to the client, we get all the bank statements, all the credit card statements, everything, and we do all those back years. Same thing with payroll. We go back, we find out what they have done as far as paperwork, what they have paid, because there's two different things when it comes to dealing with the IRS. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about payroll taxes and income taxes, is that they care more about compliance than they care about debt. When somebody says, oh my God, I owe all this money to the IRS, the United States doesn't have a debtor's prison. You can't go to jail for owing money, but you can go to jail for noncompliance, tax evasion, or fraud, right?
Yeah, right.
So those are things to watch out for. But what do? We make sure that we find out what they're missing compliance-wise. Then we go back to the client, we do the returns, and then the third phase is always the resolution side, which is that's when we communicate with the IRS and we put the taxpayer and the business in its best situation possible, depending on what their needs are. If they have cash flow issues, well, yeah, I mean, then guess what? You need a long payment plan with very tiny payments. If you want to try to negotiate some interest or some penalties because you're going to pay everything up front, okay, the government has a plan for that. There's something we can do for that. If they believe they don't really owe that much money, well, then we go back and we redo everything, and we start from there. But that's what we do. And in the end, once we put them into the right process with the IRS, we continue to maintain them. And that means we get the financials every month, tax returns on time, and they never have the same problem again unless they decide to try to go off on their own and do it, in which case we have a great number of clients that come back to
Right.
redo this whole process again because they tried to do it themselves.
Right. It's better to learn the first time around, right?
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And is this some of the reasons why y'all have the tax attorney?
Correct. Well, we have a company called Louisiana Tax Relief, which is the sister station to ASU, the sister company, which is where we have the tax attorney, where we have the enrolled agent, where we have a CPA, and then we have the muscle of the bookkeeping.
Why does Louisiana Tax Relief exist? Tell me the story behind it.
Yesterday is a perfect example of why they exist. We had a client that showed up, was using another firm to do their tax resolution work.
Mm-hmm.
They had fleeced the client for $18,000 over the course of the last year and a half, and they've had no movement at all with the IRS. Nothing, zero. The penalties and interest are piling up. They don't care. So, and like I said, that was yesterday. Well, that happened to me many, many times back in 2011 and 2012 when we started Louisiana Tax Relief.
Mm-hmm.
I found clients that were paying these tax resolution places an incredible amount of money, and they're basically treating the clients like an annuity, just money that they kept charging monthly to do nothing. So fortunately, between a very good tax attorney friend of ours and somebody that we've worked with for a long time, one of the things that we've done is we don't turn clients into annuities.
Right.
We talk to the IRS, we get the work done, we clean it up, and we're done.
Nice.
And in most of these cases, we wrap up in 3 to 4 months, depending on how quickly the IRS is responding to us, which historically we've had good responses. So, no, I mean, it's you really get upset when you start seeing how some other types of, especially out of state people, take advantage of small business owners and their lack of knowledge of what they do and what we're doing and how everything works. So that's why it exists, and it's been around for almost 12, 13, 14 years, and we've had people that have gone through the process with Louisiana Tax Relief and Accounting Services Unlimited come out on the other side thankful. And that's Andrea. How hard is it to talk to business owners about what's going on in their business?
A lot of them don't want to release a lot of information. They really have to trust you first.
Yeah, I found the same thing. It's sometimes, unless, you have to have that initial meeting where you talk to them and say, hey, no, be honest. Come on, tell me what you got going on.
Right. They have to understand that you are there to help them. Not to just, it's not about selling them something. It's truly, how can we create a solution for you that's going to help you be better at your business?
Right. And the stress that it comes out. I mean, the size of the monkey on people's back, when they leave a meeting with us, and I get a hug at the end of the meeting because
I love that.
Yeah, because all of a sudden they realize, number one, we're not out to fleece them and make a ton of money out of them.
Right.
I'm definitely in this for the money, but not all at once. Not all at once. I'm definitely, but once they're done, once we go through and we explain the process and what's happening, the monkey that comes off their back. I've had people cry. I've had people almost non-believing.
Right.
And my staff that is very on top of the client. As soon as you walk out, you're going to start getting emails. You're going to start getting phone calls from the staff. Right. Almost from the moment you walk out. I mean, I've had my staff reach out to clients while they're in the parking lot.
I mean, building that communication and building that trust really does line you up to have a customer for life, and it reminds me of a little story. About a week or two ago, I went to go see one of my restaurants located in Slidell. We had a cry. We're at the beginning of a work relationship together. I came there to solve problems for her. She's having a really hard time. She has 5 kids. And she was like, I'm going to have to close my doors very soon. And so we went in there, we implemented a solution for her. And a month later, she was crying tears of joy. So before it went from tears of, I don't know what I'm going to do, to, oh my gosh, I have some money in my check account.
All of a sudden I can pay my bills.
Right.
Jeez, yeah, no, and those moments happen. And the most important thing is that there are people that are there for themselves and there's people that are there for you.
Right. Big difference.
And though we're not a nonprofit, we try to make it so you come out way ahead and at least say nice things about us moving forward.
Right. I mean, Thomas, do you agree that being a small business owner is the hardest job in the world?
For everybody that's gone to school or not gone to school, the hardest part about being a small business that they don't teach you about anywhere
Right.
is people.
Yes.
Nothing prepares you for the clients and nothing prepares you for the employees.
Right.
Nothing prepares you for the employees.
I know. That's like a whole nother
Yeah,
podcast.
that's a
topic.
whole other podcast.
Let's talk about the
Right.
employees.
Yeah, exactly.
Woo, some stories.
Oh man, no. I like it when I go see my restaurant clients and they tell me all the excuses that the dishwashers come up with to not come to work.
Oh yeah.
They
What's the
could
best
write
one?
books. The guy. Okay, one of my favorite ones is a guy in the French Quarter had a dishwasher who'd worked with him on and off for a couple months, and the guy kept missing work. And so finally, the owner of the restaurant went to him and said, "Listen, you cannot miss another day of work, or
Yeah.
you're gone." And the guy's like, "No, everything's fine. I've got everything together. I'm good. I will be here every day without a problem." And he said, "Okay, good. This is what I wanted to do." And the owner said, "No, he was really good working the dishwasher, moving plates around, getting ready, whatever." And so the next day, the guy didn't show up to work.
Uh-oh.
So he didn't hear from the guy for a couple days. Finally, the guy calls him. The dishwasher calls him on the third day, and he asks him, "Where are you? I thought you said you were never going to miss work again." He said, "Yeah, I had to move."
Okay.
He said, "Okay, well, I'm moving on from you." So we're both moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently the guy had to move. So I guess he didn't know that the day before.
Yeah. Well, I've got one for you. So, I used to run a restaurant that had 100 employees, and two of my favorite excuses were: one, somebody had a hangnail, couldn't come to work because they had a hangnail on their pinky.
Ooh,
Number
hangnails.
two, somebody had a belly button that was infected. The things that I hear that I don't want to know, I was like,
Both things have happened to me in the past. I've had some rough hangnails.
right, but you still made it to work. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, there was that one time. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm like, boy, some people
And an
come up
infected
with
belly
some stuff.
button also has happened to me before.
Really? When you got your belly button pierced?
I don't think, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I think being a small business owner is one of the hardest jobs in the world because of exactly what you're saying. It's not something you're ever taught. It doesn't come with a book, how to be the best business
Done
owner,
right.
how to be a successful business owner. It's kind of,
It's daunting.
it's daunting. It's hard. You're wearing so many hats, and that's why you need to really hire the experts to wear the hats for you. I mean, that's one thing I just cannot reiterate more.
It's kind of like a football coach. A football coach comes in, a head coach, and he may not be the best offensive coordinator, so he hires the best offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He may not be the greatest defensive coordinator, so he hires the best defensive
Yeah.
coordinator and all the coaching down the staff. It's the same thing with small business. Wherever your weaknesses are, that's who you hire the best person for.
Agreed.
And whatever you're good at is what you should do in your business.
Right. That's what you need to be doing 24/7.
Right.
Like, go be a restaurateur. Leave the rest to the experts. I mean, I tell people that all the time.
This is Thomas Fontes with Accounting Services Unlimited with the Keeping Businesses in Business podcast.